parents were listening to a lot of classic rock and stuff like that, and I was listening to the Beatles and the Who and stuff like that, and I was just enamored with the guitar, but I never had a guitar. I don't think my parents could really afford to get me a guitar, so I just kind of had an old nylon string acoustic that had maybe 3 strings on it that I'd bang around with, or I'd use other things pretending they were guitars and stuff like that. So when I first started playing guitar, I was kind of going away from what my parents were listening to, and I was, learning how to play these Rat songs and like Motley Crue songs off of like Too Fast for Love and stuff like that, and Zeppelin and stuff like that, Black Sabbath. And then I started listening to, like Anthrax and Metallica and Megadeth, and that's when I really started getting dexterity up and like, learning those types of songs. I don't know, I still go back to that even today. You're a kid, so you're going and I remember I figured that out on this, this nylon string acoustic guitar, and I was all excited, and I showed my dad, and and that was cool and everything, but, the riff is actually... But I was in the neighborhood, and Hatfield, of course, too, with, like... But then you've got the Dave Mustaine thing, where it's like... You get into that riffy Dave Mustaine stuff, and it's like, shit, maybe I should practice these 3-note per string scales that this guitar player that's teaching me taught me, and I learned all that... I'm a weird guitar player. Like, I had the dexterity and I kind of knew the motions before I ever picked up a guitar. Like, maybe in a past life I was a guitar player or something, but I kind of got it. How sometimes things just make sense to you without ever being taught them. Like, I could play, I could move around the fretboard, but I didn't know where to put the notes, how to tune the guitar. I go through phases, I go through phases where I really have a deep love affair with it, and I can't put one down. And then I go through phases where I fucking hate them, and I don't even want to touch it or look at it, or, you know what I mean? So I was in a band, speed metal band called Atomic Opera, and we wrote a song called Across the Sea of Doom. Moving around like licks, I guess. But that was kind of like the first song I sat down, and it was before we had any kind of recording equipment other than maybe taking a boom box and hitting play record on it, I like to get arrangements to a point where they sound like a song. I've layered guitars, I put bass on it, maybe padded some keyboards, have easy drummer loops on it, and it sounds like a song with no vocals. And then that's when I give it over to, Clown or Corey or Fiddleman or whoever else in the band. And especially Corey, because it's hard you have to anticipate how long would Corey like to sing on a part? Can he sing on this part? Does this give him enough space to put a vocal melody? Well, in the beginning, it's weird because the first record they had already had written, and I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, and I was the new guy in the band and all that. So, I learned 2 songs that we were going to go to Malibu and record at Indigo Ranch with Ross, and then we were going to re-record Spit It Out. And then I was just basically going to Mick's house, and he was teaching me the songs that were already on the record, Eyeless and Surfacing and all that stuff. And since I was new to it and I didn't know those guys very well other than playing with their bands around the local scene in Des Moines, I just kind of sat back and sort of did what I was told and tried to just fit in. And then by the time we recorded Iowa, me and Paul started to establish a pretty tight relationship, and we were roommates in the hotel rooms that we'd have to spend together. And we got done Tattoo the Earth. And then the next day, Paul calls me up and he's like, hey, we got everything set up at my brother's house, Tony's house. Come over. We got to start writing. And I'm like, we just got off tour, man. Can I have a couple of days to like hang out with my girlfriend? And it's like, no, man, we got to work. So I learned work ethic from Paul and the fact that we're our own bosses now. And if we don't stay on top of it, and if we're not thinking about what we're doing next, it's detrimental. It's important to do that, and obviously that puts a wedge in between your relationships because your girlfriend wants to lay on the couch and watch TV with you because she hasn't seen you for a month, but I'm locked in a bedroom, like, trying to write, trying to learn how to write, and trying to learn how to take these things to another level. So I think I did bring something to it, but I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. I brought some riffs and some ideas starting at the Iowa record, and then as time went on, I kind of like was able to do more and more because Paul and Joe were doing less and less. Let me grab a properly tuned guitar. Oh, yeah. So that's my manservant. Comes from that part in the beginning. And then it's basically just a variation on that. We open it up. You know, and that part's obviously heavily affected. I don't have a pedal board in front of me, so I can't really get into some of that. But shit, what else? What else is on Iowa there? Oh, thank you. You want to call 911? He's fine. He's fine. His wife will put a Band-Aid on that. No big deal. Let's all wait first. That's always a good one, you know. That's actually the kind of the choruses in that go back to that whole thrash metal sort of like, you know, that Megadeth stuff we were talking about earlier.